Hey everyone, Happy New Year. It's Thursday, January 8th. We are officially in the first full week of 2026. And we're starting off strong with another market watch for this week for the Seattle area. So per usual, if you're new here, we always start with what's happening with interest rates because they're a big topic of conversation and they drive a lot of what happens in the market. So first we're gonna start off with interest rates, 6.19% today for a 30-year fixed. 15-year fixed is at 5.73% today, which is awesome, a little bit lower than what we saw at the end of last year. This has come down a bit. And as we're talking to lenders or people we know, do think this could come down a little bit. If you watched my 2026 Redfin predictions, they think the average over 2026 is going to be 6.3%. I'm hopeful that it'll be a little lower than that, but we can always be optimistic, right? The big reason this is important is because when interest rates go down, buyers can afford more or have a little bit more room in their monthly payments. The 30-year jumbo is at 6.35% and 30-year FHA and VA are at 5.8 and 5.82 respectively. So we have seen that come down. It looks like the last peak was sometime around April 2025. Now it is volatile, but it has come down pretty consistently since then. So I'm hopeful for that trend to continue. You know, we may see some differences when the Fed chair changes this year. Now, keep in mind, the Fed chair is not the only one who determines the interest rate. It's actually a committee, and that interest rate that they determine is not specifically the mortgage interest rate. So mortgage interest rate is based on a bunch of different factors, but mostly influenced by the 10-year yield, treasury yield, and that is the 10-year yield is directly influenced by the Fed. Keep in mind, that's a bit of a nuance in terms of how the interest rate works. So when you see it in the news that the Fed is lowering the interest rate, it doesn't necessarily mean that that rate is going to come right down or that that's the rate, the mortgage interest rate. Let's talk about what's happening in the Seattle market. So it's been pretty quiet as we head into the new year, but sellers are already ramping up. And if you're thinking about selling your home this year, right now is the perfect time to start and get prepared. You want to have your home really ready to go in the next couple of weeks to few months, because this is going to be prime time for the market. When we look at the condo market, we saw an increase of 73 new listings in the past 7 days. That's up to 97. That's no surprise there. We're seeing new inventory come on the market, and we probably will see that throughout January, February, and March, I would say. I would be surprised if this number comes down significantly at all. Now, the homes going under contract were up 21 this week, up to 93. So pretty good pace in terms of pending listings. We check pending listings because that shows our most immediate demand, and then new listings shows our most immediate supply, whereas sold listings are up 11. Now, this is a 30-day lag from when those got into contract. So that was up 11 to 61 closed and sold, and that's for the Seattle condo market. Now, when we take a look at the residential market, including single family homes and townhomes, we saw up 126 new listings this past 7 days to 174. That's a big jump, but to be expected. Right after the holiday, we see some more inventory coming on, and that should continue. Pending listings went down 1 to 182. That's down from 183. So you can see the number of homes going under contract has been really strong the past 2 weeks at in the 180s. So we do still see that buyers are out there looking and trying to find a home and then putting it under contract once they do. It's a great time to make a deal if something has been sitting on the market. And then last but not least, sold listings are up 35 at 221 for the past 7 days. So we do see that those homes that got into contract probably beginning of December are now closing. So that's a little bit about the market and what's happening specifically in Seattle and with the interest rates. If your plans include buying or selling in 2026, let's reach out and have a free strategy call about how we can help you prepare and make sure that you're really ready to go when the time is right. That could be in 2 weeks, that could be in 2 years, but it's better to talk sooner rather than later so that you can really prepare, go through that checklist and everything you need to do to feel comfortable going into this process. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again next week.